Tomorrow at about 12 o'clock noon, I'm going to have a group of ladies together in one of my Zoom meeting rooms, and we are going to talk about some strategies that we can use to teach younger females, both in our families and within our sphere of influence, maybe through work, if you're a teacher, some civic organization, whatever contact you have with young women. We need to talk about some strategies that we can utilize and publicize that will help young girls get their minds right. And what I mean is, there's this horrific, it's like a disease, like an epidemic of low self-esteem, and this training that goes on in our society, both in the Black community and in general, that men must come first and that women need to sacrifice themselves for the betterment of males. Now, this became an issue when, I don't know if you remember last year, I had to get my transmission rebuilt in my car. Don't ask me what I did. I still don't know what I did to my car. But anyway, it was not moving, and it turned out it was the transmission. So I put in a shop, and during that week and a half, I had to ride the bus here in Oakland, AC Transit. And I tell you, that was an education. I hadn't really been on the bus since, high school age. My dad got me a car when I was in high school, and then that was the end of me being on public transit. But I tell you, there was this scene that was so disturbing. I actually wrote about it on my blog, and what it involved is a young woman who was with a friend of hers, and this all happened right in front of me. And they ran into these guys, these two guys, and one of the guys didn't want them to go and do what they were going to do. He wanted them to come with him. And so eventually, to make a long story short, there were two girls. The shorter girl, which obviously was a younger girl, stated that she had a boyfriend, so she didn't want to go with them. They asked, "Did you smoke?" And she said no, so she didn't want to do that either. And did she want to go with them? And she said no, she wanted to go to the mall and shop and buy clothes. That's what she was supposed to be doing with this friend. Now, what I found was so interesting was that even though she said all three of those times that she didn't want anything to do with what they were talking about, at the end, she went along with them, or she went with her friend. Now, I don't know why. Did she feel like they needed to stay together? Was she afraid for her friend to be by herself with the two dudes? I don't really know. But not one time did she say, "Let me talk to you for a minute," and then remind her that they were supposed to be going somewhere else. Nor did she pull away, pick up her phone, and say, "Mama, blah, 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 something," or "I'm coming back home," or "Can you come get me?" Or, "What should I do?" kind of thing. She didn't think to do that. This is where parental communication comes in. So that's our job, ladies. That's our job, is to prepare our daughters for situations like that. All kinds of situations, even stuff that you might run across in a newspaper and think would never happen to your daughter. You have to get her ready for, if that inevitability does happen to her, that she knows what to do. So this child did not know what to do. So she ended up going with her friend and looking confused. That's the kind of stuff I want to talk about. We have to give our girls the tools to be able to handle games when they're being run like this. And this little boy, he couldn't have been any older than 18, 19 years old. And these girls were about 15, 16. But he had some serious game. Dude had it down. I don't know who's been schooling him, but that young man, his future is looking rather pimpish, if you ask me. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the babies that girls keep having, and these tend to be older than teens these days. Women in their 20s having babies. Like every relationship they get in, they want to have a kid with the dude. Really? Where's my phone? And there's just a lot of other things we want to talk about over the 2-hour period that I have scheduled for this online meeting. So the invitation is in the Zoom chat room, the screen at the beginning, and I will put it up again after I'm done here, so that you can go to the correct meeting place. Actually, I'll put the link in the description, so you don't have to do anything. Just click it. That's what we'll do. And it takes place starting tomorrow, Sunday the 18th, at 12 noon if you're on the West Coast, 3 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, and 2 if you're in Central Time, okay, because they're 2 hours ahead of us. Yeah, 2 hours. So I would like, as many women as possible. If you have some ideas, you might be a teen yourself that could throw out some situations that happen to you, and we can give you an idea of how you might handle that in the future. I mean, I want this to be 2 solid hours of some real, creative ideas being tossed forward, and some real, what do they call that? I can't think of the name right now. But, everybody put forth your ideas. No idea is too crazy. And as long as you're a woman and you're interested in the betterment of girls, then we want to hear from you. All right. That's tomorrow, 12 noon. Sorry for the late notice. I've been on CP time lately. But I think this is very important. So if you can put it on your calendar and come on through. If you have a webcam, that's fine. When you ask your question, you can be on camera and be on the recording, which will be uploaded to this YouTube channel. So if you miss it, you'll still be able to take advantage of hearing the wisdom and the tips that are shared. All right, Deborah Cooper from survivingdating.com. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow.